As 2019 is winding down, I want to give you the 5 top lines, the top lines spoken in all of 2019. Number 5, Stipe Miocic, when asked how he beat Daniel Cormier, he simply said, "I'm a better fighter than he is." Now, Stipe had made this statement a number of times, and I didn't know what the hell it meant. There's no X's and O's to that, Stipe. There's no "I'm faster than you, I'm tougher than you, I'm younger than you, I'm stronger than you." All Stipe would say, and he stood on it, and Stipe said it very calmly, but he said it with extreme confidence. He said, "I'm a better fighter than he is." When the fight was over and Stipe won, a comeback win, by the way, gets hammered in the first round, absolutely hammered, comes back and wins. Loses the second round, hammered in the first round, loses the second round, comes back in the fourth round. 14 body shots to the exact same spot, stops Daniel Cormier, upset win, 2.5-1 underdog, leaves with the world championship, his world championship as he views it, and then he's asked post facto, "How'd you do it?" He gave the same answer, "I'm a better fighter than he is." The brilliance is in the simplicity. I didn't know what Stipe meant before the fight. There wasn't really enough there to go off of. But for a guy to make a very simple statement, believe it, and then also make the statement post-fight, it's one of the top lines of the year. Number 4, Colby Covington on stage at Madison Square Garden opposite Kamaru Usman tells Kamaru, "You couldn't draw money if they handed you a sheet of white paper and a green crayon." Now, I was there live when Colby did that, and the crowd didn't react. It was pretty quiet. It took the crowd about 2 beats to get it, and the whole crowd erupts in laughter. I was in the crowd. I didn't get it either. I had to do the math. Okay, you couldn't draw money. Got to give you a white sheet of paper, a white crayon. What's that? To draw money. Everybody got it after the fact. It ended up being one of the great lines. And 2 beats later, somebody up there, Dana, Kamaru, Colby, somebody had moved on and was talking about something else. The crowd cut them off with their reaction, an eruption of laughter. 2 seconds later for the line that Colby had already dropped. Number 3, "I can't get this effer off me." Dustin Poirier said that line, but one of the reasons it was such a great line is he was picked up after the 3rd round in a world title fight against Khabib Nurmagomedov. 3 rounds have gone by. He's got 10 minutes of fighting left to do to try to hold on to his championship, to grab Khabib's championship in a venue that they erected, that they literally built for this fight. I mean, there's a lot going on here. It's 100+ degrees. They're in Abu Dhabi. I mean, everything's 2 presidents of 2 foreign countries are there to watch. I mean, there's a lot happening in this fight. Dustin Poirier is heard telling his corner, "I can't get this effer off of me." It was just a great line, and he said it very calmly as well. Like, you think a guy would be huffing and puffing and tired and dragging, and Dustin said it perfectly calmly. The whole world could hear him. And his coaches were kind of like, "Yeah, it looks that way. Let me give you a couple of suggestions of what to change to try to get this effer off of you." All right. The second greatest line spoken in all of 2019 comes to us from Jorge Masvidal when he said, "3 hooligans attacked me, but I'm okay." Now, my goodness, this was just a thing of brilliance. There was so much that happened here. Okay, look, if you get in a scuffle, if you get in a dust-up in the UFC, it is cardinal sin number 1. If you are involved in any kind of unarmed combat that is not licensed and sanctioned, it is rule number 1. You're better off robbing a bank and trying to deal with it from a standpoint. This will piss Dana off to the highest of levels if he has a trained fighter with a license doing some fighting that isn't sanctioned. Make things worse, it was backstage at an event to make things triple worse. It's illegal, and it was caught on camera. There is nothing that could be worse about this situation. Jorge Masvidal must have been hip to the law a little bit, because if you're ever in a dust-up Make sure that you claim self-defense and claim it instantly. Absolutely instantly. And anybody with some street smarts, and George Masvidal's from the streets, knows this rule. So after George hits Leon 4 times, never gets hit himself. Leon never even threw a punch. It wasn't like George was slipping punches, but was able to get off, and these 3 other guys were coming at him, and one of them had a bat, but George, fortunately had hit the wall and not George. No. 4 punches were thrown. They were all thrown by George. No other punches were thrown. George Masvidal goes on the attack instantly. I was scared. These hooligans attacked me. He said it with a straight face. George was a genius in this interview. You got to go back and find it. But the bottom line is it worked. Nothing happened. This is cardinal sin number 1. Nothing happened. Cardinal sin number 1 caught on tape. Nothing happened. Why? Because George was scared. Because 3 hooligans attacked him. But he's okay. And the number 1 line of 2019 took place at the weigh-ins of UFC in Australia, okay? Brisbane, Australia. No, it was Melbourne, Australia. Weigh-in day. Israel Adesanya. Now, this is the same venue where Ronda Rousey fought Holly Holm. Israel Adesanya came to that event. He was not in the UFC. Oh, and by the way, he was a poor kid, and he got the cheap ticket, and he was way up top. You have to know that for the backstory. So the weigh-ins come out. Adesanya comes across the stage. Whitaker's making his return. He comes across the stage. They got 57,000 tickets sold for the very next day. I mean, this is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You are never going to get this again. And Israel Adesanya very calmly told the world on the microphone after the weigh-ins, the last time I was here, I was in the nosebleeds. Tomorrow, I'll make his nose bleed. Dropped the mic and walked off, and I had chills. I had chills not only from the statement because I knew what he meant. I knew he was sitting up top, and I knew he was a poor kid, and now he's going to be in the middle, and 57,000 people are watching him, a guy that could barely get into the show. I mean, this is what dreams are made of, but I also knew, man, this is a guy that gets it. Adesanya gets it. Adesanya has ever been the performer that Conor is. Now, it's different, and he hasn't been given as many microphones. So when you guys hear this, you go, Chael, nice comparison, but Conor's still the guy. That's true. Conor is still the guy. He's had more opportunities. I'm telling you right now, Adesanya is 100% the performer that Conor is. Hasn't been given the opportunity. That's starting to change. But he was a kid who was up in the nosebleeds. And the last time he was there, he made his nose bleed.